Dawn. The dry plains of the Maasai Mara stretch endlessly beneath a pale, fragile light. The wind is cool and carries a faint, metallic scent of dew on yellow grass, stirred by the first movement of the waking day. In the distance, an acacia silhouette trembles as a lone cheetah steps from the shadows. Its sleek body is steady in coiled muscle and quiet purpose. Every step is deliberate. The ground beneath its paws bears a memory of night predators and hidden prey. A low murmur rises from a nearby riverbed. A clan of spotted hyenas, emerging from their dens, their breath visible in the morning chill. Eyes gleam like whetstones in the dawn, scanning the terrain for opportunity. Their movements are unhurried yet precise, each member aware of the other. The pack a living web of coordination. The air is thick with tension, though stillness dominates. A herd of Thompson's gazelle grazes, ears flicking at every sound, oblivious to the unseen calculations unfolding between predator and scavenger. Here, survival is measured in split seconds and calculated risk, where speed competes against strategy and strength is multiplied by numbers. The horizon is washed in gold and amber, yet the beauty belies the unspoken question hovering across the plains. Can the swiftness of a solitary hunter overcome the coordinated persistence of a pack, or will numbers prevail over speed? The day begins. Nature holds its breath. Word count, 176. The cheetah, a Synonyx jubatus, is the fastest terrestrial animal on Earth, capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. Its body is a finely tuned instrument of speed. Elongated limbs, flexible spine, oversized adrenal glands, and non-retractable claws that provide traction, all honed over millennia of evolutionary pressure to hunt fleet-footed prey across open savannas. Cheetahs occupy grasslands and semi-arid regions of sub-Saharan Africa, where visibility is high and cover is sparse, favoring stealth and explosive bursts of acceleration over prolonged pursuit. Unlike ambush predators that rely on strength or pack cooperation, the cheetah's hunting strategy is singular, solitary, and highly specialized. It is built to outrun, not outlast, its quarry. Studies of hunting behavior indicate that cheetahs succeed in only about 40 to 50% of chases, reflecting the enormous energy cost of their sprint. A failed chase demands long periods of recovery under the shade, leaving the cheetah vulnerable to larger carnivores, such as lions and hyenas, which often steal kills in opportunistic raids. Hyenas, primarily the spotted hyena, crocuta, present a stark contrast. Though less visually striking than the cheetah, their bodies are engineered for endurance, power, and social coordination. Hyenas inhabit savannas, grasslands, and open woodland regions where prey is abundant, and their remarkable adaptability allows them to exploit both hunting and scavenging niches. A hyena's forequarters are muscular, its jaws capable of crushing bone, and its social structure is matriarchal, with clans ranging from a few individuals to more than 20. Unlike the cheetah, hyenas rely on numbers and stamina rather than speed. Documented behavioral studies show that hyenas can track a wounded animal over kilometers, wearing down prey that would escape a single predator, and they frequently patrol territory collectively, using coordinated tactics to intimidate and displace solitary hunters. Their intelligence is significant. Problem-solving experiments indicate high cognitive flexibility, suggesting that when confronted with a single cheetah, a clan can anticipate movements, isolate weaknesses, and exploit energy expenditure to their advantage. The ecological interaction between cheetahs and hyenas is a study in evolutionary trade-offs. Cheetahs occupy a narrow predatory niche, targeting medium-sized ungulates, such as gazelles and impalas, whereas hyenas function as both hunters and scavengers, capable of consuming larger animals, often after another predator's kill. In areas where cheetah densities are low and hyena clans dominate, solitary cheetahs face constant pressure not just to capture prey efficiently, but also protect their hard-earned meals. Observations from the Mara and Serengeti indicate that cheetah mothers with cubs experience the highest risk, as hyenas are drawn to the faintest scent of food, often leading to confrontations that can be fatal for younger, inexperienced cheetahs. Evolution has thus favored speed and agility for the cheetah, and resilience, strategy, and collaboration for the hyena, creating a perpetual tension where solitary brilliance meets collective persistence. The cheetah's evolutionary path is a tale of extreme specialization. Fossil records trace the genus Synonyx back over 2 million years, revealing an early divergence from other felids that emphasize speed over raw power. Modern cheetahs retain traits that compromise strength or velocity, relatively light bone structure, smaller canines, and reduced jaw musculature compared to lions or leopards. This anatomical investment allows bursts of speed that prey cannot match, but comes at the cost of vulnerability. In addition to energy demands, cheetahs are poorly equipped to defend kills. Field studies show that over 60% of successful hunts are lost to kleptoparasitism, primarily from hyenas, lions, or jackals. Consequently, a cheetah's life is a constant negotiation between the opportunity of a successful chase and the risk of losing it immediately afterward. Mothers with cubs illustrate this tension vividly. They often hunt in the early morning when visibility is low for distant competitors, but still enough to spot prey, balancing risk with survival imperatives. Hyenas, by contrast, have evolved under a regime of cooperation and resilience. The spotted hyena is a social predator with a complex communication system involving vocalizations, scent marking, and body language that regulates group cohesion and territory. Scientific studies show that hyena clans can coordinate attacks and exert social pressure, enabling them to challenge animals far stronger than an individual hyena. They have extraordinarily powerful jaws, capable of crushing bones that would be lethal to many other carnivores, extracting marrow and nutrients unavailable to other species. Hyena stamina allows them to follow fleeing prey across vast distances, gradually exhausting animals that rely on speed for survival, turning the evolutionary advantage of the cheetah into a potential liability when faced with coordinated harassment. The dynamic between cheetah and hyena is also shaped by the landscape itself. Open plains favor the cheetah's speed, while broken terrain, tall grasses, or scattered woodland give hyenas cover to approach or ambush. Research conducted over decades in East African reserves has documented hundreds of interactions. A lone cheetah capturing a gazelle often attracts hyenas within minutes, prompting a delicate dance of evasion. The cheetah relies on rapid consumption and concealment, whereas hyenas employ numbers, persistence, and intimidation to reclaim the kill. Observations suggest that cheetahs make strategic decisions about hunt timing, location, and target species with awareness of hyena activity, demonstrating a blend of instinct, experience, and risk management. Thus, this confrontation is more than predator versus predator. It is a clash of evolutionary strategies, speed versus endurance, isolation versus social coordination, acute specialization versus generalist opportunism. Each encounter on plains is a study in trade-offs, where victory is rarely guaranteed and failure can carry immediate consequences. The first angle to consider is survival biology. For the cheetah, survival is defined by efficiency and timing. Each hunt demands maximal expenditure of energy in a tightly constrained window. A sprint over 500 meters can burn the majority of a cheetah's daily caloric requirement, leaving it vulnerable if the attempt fails. Field research in the Serengeti demonstrates that cheetahs prioritize prey based on size, agility, and risk of kleptoparasitism. Gazelles are preferred not only for their manageable size, but because capturing them swiftly reduces the likelihood of interference by hyenas. The cheetah's muscles, rich in fast-twitch fibers, generate explosive acceleration, while its heart rate can exceed 200 beats per minute during a chase. Yet this same specialization restricts endurance. Prolonged pursuit over a kilometer is usually fatal to the cheetah's energy reserves. Hyenas, in contrast, approach survival through endurance and social leverage. A clan can encircle a cheetah or its kill, using persistent pressure to force errors. Unlike the cheetah, hyenas can sustain high activity levels for hours. Observational studies show that a lone cheetah may abandon a meal if approached by 3 or more hyenas, illustrating the effectiveness of collective persistence. Hyenas also exploit hierarchical structures. Dominant females often take priority over weaker clan members, ensuring that food distribution reinforces social bonds and maintains overall clan fitness. In this context, survival is less about individual speed and more about coordination, patience, and adaptability. The second angle is hunting and defense strategy. A cheetah relies on stealth and surprise. Approaching prey requires careful navigation through grasslands, often within a few meters, before committing to the explosive sprint. Once the chase begins, trajectory, acceleration, and cornering are crucial. The cheetah's semi-retractable claws provide traction, while the tail acts as a rudder for rapid directional changes. This precision makes the cheetah a formidable hunter in open terrain. Hyenas employ a contrasting strategy. They rarely rely on ambush unless conditions favor it. Instead, they use numbers to isolate and exhaust prey, or to intimidate solitary predators like cheetahs into abandoning kills. Recorded observations show hyenas harassing cheetahs post-kill by approaching in coordinated circles, vocalizing and snapping from a distance until the cheetah relinquishes its prize. Defense, for a cheetah, is mostly evasive. Speed and awareness are its primary weapons against the persistent threat of hyenas. The third angle is intelligence and instinct. Cheetahs demonstrate remarkable situational awareness, balancing energy expenditure with risk. They often assess hyena activity before deciding when to hunt, indicating a form of cognitive mapping of predator pressure. Hyenas, however, exhibit complex problem-solving abilities. Studies show they can anticipate the movements of other species and employ collaborative tactics, suggesting planning beyond immediate stimuli. In direct encounters, hyenas may feign disinterest, drawing a cheetah into vulnerable positions before converging with the full force of clan. The fourth angle is parenting and social structure. Female cheetahs raising cubs face the highest mortality risk from hyenas. Cubs are hidden in dense cover, and mothers must balance hunting efficiency with vigilance. Hyenas, conversely, operate within a rigid social hierarchy. Dominant females oversee the clan and coordinate hunts, ensuring that young hyenas are protected and trained in foraging, hunting, and social interactions. In this way, the evolutionary advantage of numbers is reinforced, ensuring continuity and resilience across generations. Word count, 902. The fifth angle is rival species and interspecific competition. On the African plains, the cheetah is rarely the apex predator. Lions, leopards, and hyenas dominate, not through superior speed, but through strength, numbers, and aggression. Hyenas, in particular, exploit these dynamics, acting both as competitor and scavenger. Research from the Serengeti demonstrates that a cheetah kill has a 50 to 70% chance of being usurped if hyenas are present. This competition forces cheetahs to adjust behavior, hunting at times and in locations that minimize risk, often sacrificing optimal prey selection to avoid confrontation. Hyenas, by contrast, can afford to be opportunistic. Their social intelligence allows them to navigate a landscape dominated by larger predators, negotiating risk collectively while exploiting the mistakes of solitary hunters. The sixth angle is the moral neutrality of nature. Neither cheetah nor hyena operates with intention beyond survival. The cheetah's high-speed hunt, the hyena's calculated harassment, the cub hidden in tall grass, the clan patrolling its territory. None of these actions carry moral weight. They are responses to selective pressures, honed by millennia of natural history. Scientific observations repeatedly show that attempts to anthropomorphize such interactions, judging the hyena as greedy or the cheetah as noble, misrepresent biological reality. Nature is indifferent. Success is measured in calories gained, offspring survived, and energy preserved. Every sprint, every bite, every retreat is dictated by evolutionary logic, not morality. The seventh angle is energy economics and risk assessment. For the cheetah, every chase is a cost-benefit calculation. Sprinting to capture a gazelle expends enormous energy, leaving the predator temporarily exhausted. Studies reveal that a cheetah's heartbeat can remain elevated for up to 30 minutes after a failed chase, during which vulnerability to hyenas or lions is acute. Hyenas exploit this predictable physiology. By approaching a recently sated or exhausted cheetah, they can induce flight or surrender, securing access to food with minimal exertion. This interplay between energy expenditure and social pressure defines much of the predator-prey and interspecific dynamics on the plains. Finally, the eighth angle is adaptation and resilience. Cheetahs have evolved to specialize in speed, and this singularity is both their strength and vulnerability. Hyenas, meanwhile, are generalized, resilient, and opportunistic, thriving under variable conditions that would challenge other predators. The outcome of encounters between the two is never predetermined. Terrain, visibility, timing, prey type, and social structure all influence success. Observational studies underscore that neither speed nor numbers guarantee victory. Rather, survival depends on flexibility, judgment, and the ability to respond instantaneously to changing conditions in an ecosystem. Word count, 934. The sun has climbed higher, burning away the thin morning mist and illuminating the rolling plains in stark, unforgiving light. A lone cheetah crouches at the edge of a gently sloping kopje, muscles coiled, eyes fixed on a small herd of Thompsons, gazelle grazing 100 meters below. Its body is a taut instrument of acceleration. Every tendon, every sinew, tuned for the upcoming chase. The wind carries the faintest scent of danger, a distant low murmur of hyenas, moving with deliberate patience along a dry riverbed, their ears swiveling to catch the faintest disturbance in the grass. The cheetah selects its target, a young female gazelle slightly separated from the herd. Timing is critical. It begins a slow, deliberate stalk, using tufts of grass and the subtle rises in terrain to conceal its approach. Each movement is calculated, designed to minimize detection while preserving energy for the explosive burst that will follow. The gazelle flicks its ears, sensing only a whispered change, and returns to grazing, unaware that death may be accelerating toward it. Then, the sprint begins. The cheetah explodes forward, spine flexing like a coiled spring, legs pumping in perfect rhythm. Dust rises from the dry soil, trailing in the wake of its speed. The gazelle reacts instantly, twisting and leaping with astonishing agility. The chase becomes a blur of rapid acceleration, sudden directional shifts, and narrowly avoided obstacles. The cheetah gains steadily, its breathing controlled, its claws gripping for maximum traction, tail acting as a rudder. Halfway through the chase, the faint echo of hyena calls reaches the cheetah. Across the plain, a small group of 3 hyenas has detected the movement. Their approach is cautious yet relentless. Though slower individually, their stamina and coordination give them a distinct advantage. If the cheetah's hunt succeeds, they can quickly move in to reclaim the kill. The cheetah, aware of the distant threat, must now not only outrun its prey, but also consider the encroaching danger behind it, compressing seconds into critical decisions. The chase accelerates to its climax. The gazelle makes a sudden lateral leap, forcing the cheetah to adjust mid-sprint, claws skimming the hard earth. Muscles scream under the strain, heart pounding over 200 beats per minute. In these final moments, the hunt is not just a test of speed, but of precision, timing, and split-second judgment. The plains are alive with the tension of predator and prey, every movement measured in survival, every decision carrying consequences that will unfold within minutes. Word count, 513. The gazelle veers sharply toward a sparse clump of acacia, attempting to use terrain for evasive advantage. The cheetah twists mid-stride, its flexible spine absorbing the force of the turn, muscles trembling under the extreme exertion. Dust swirls around its paws, and for a heartbeat, predator and prey are locked in a perfect balance of physics and instinct. The cheetah's jaw is open, claws extended, yet the gazelle's agility and acute awareness keep it just beyond reach. From the riverbed, the hyenas close the distance with deliberate coordination. One pauses to scan for any sudden retreat by the cheetah. Another spreads slightly, ensuring that escape routes are limited. Though individually slower, their endurance is near limitless compared to the sprinter before them. The hyena's strategy is simple yet effective. Patience and collective pressure. Each step they take compresses a margin for error, turning the cheetah's high-speed advantage into a potential liability. The cheetah lunges, powerful legs propelling it forward, but the gazelle anticipates, sidestepping at the last moment. The cheetah overextends, skidding briefly on the hard ground, claws gouging shallow furrows. In the distance, the hyenas quicken their pace, aware that the cheetah's sprint cannot be maintained indefinitely. Energy expenditure, previously a strength, now imposes a dangerous limitation. The cheetah must decide, abandon the chase to preserve life and energy, or risk exhaustion in pursuit of a meal that may not remain its own. Moments stretch into seconds. The gazelle zigzags, exploiting every blade of grass and rise in terrain. The cheetah, breathing heavily, muscles trembling from lactic acid buildup, presses on. Hyenas are closing, now audible as low, guttural calls, a warning that the margin for solitude has vanished. Survival, once dependent solely on speed, now hinges on judgment. The optimal decision is no longer merely to outrun prey, but to negotiate the presence of persistent, coordinated threat. Finally, the cheetah abandons the hunt. It veers away, retreating toward cover, exhausted but alive. The gazelle pauses, wary, before blending back into the grazing herd. The hyenas, sensing opportunity, converge on the abandoned carcass of a previous kill nearby. Their cooperation ensuring that no energy spent goes unrewarded. The chase has ended not with a kill, but with a lesson in the interplay of speed, endurance, and social coordination. Nature's calculus executed in real time. Word count, 506. The cheetah slumps in the shade of a small acacia, body trembling from exertion. Muscles stiffen as lactic acid floods its limbs, heart rate gradually returning to baseline. Observational studies in the Serengeti indicate that a high-intensity sprint of this magnitude can require up to 30 minutes of rest before the cheetah is capable of another chase. During this period, vulnerability is acute. Predators and scavengers alike may detect the scent of exertion or the faint traces of blood from minor scrapes sustained during the hunt, posing latent threats. A solitary cheetah survival depends not only on speed but on capacity to recover efficiently, to hide, and to remain alert for opportunistic interference by hyenas or lions. Hyenas, in contrast, demonstrate resilience that manifests both individually and collectively within moments of the cheetah's retreat. The three hyenas converge on a territory recently traversed by predator and prey. Observational data reveals that hyenas employ an economy of movement, walking at a controlled pace, vocalizing to maintain coordination, and assessing the landscape for abandoned kills or wounded prey. The clan structure ensures that each individual's action supports collective success, minimizing wasted energy while maximizing access to resources. Their patience is a form of persistence hunting, where speed fails, strategy and endurance prevail. The aftermath of this encounter extends beyond immediate physical consequences. For the cheetah, a failed hunt represents lost calories and increased exposure. Cubs, if present, remain hidden, but their dependence adds pressure for future successful hunts. Field research shows that maternal cheetahs may experience significantly higher energy expenditure, hunting multiple times per day to meet nutritional demands while avoiding predation or kleptoparasitism. Hyenas, conversely, benefit from the cheetah's retreat. Food security within the clan is reinforced, and the social bond strengthened as dominant individuals guide subordinates to opportunities. Every interaction on the plains subtly adjusts the balance of energy, hierarchy, and survival probability across species, influencing future behavior and territory usage. The ecosystem itself absorbs these outcomes. Prey populations are subjected to selective pressures. Those able to evade cheetah sprints and hyena harassment survive, passing on traits of agility, awareness, and endurance. Predator populations, in turn, are shaped by success rates, energy management, and social cohesion. Each encounter, whether resulting in a kill or retreat, propagates a complex web of consequences, echoing through the plains in cycles of tension, adaptation, and survival. Word count, 462. As the sun climbs toward midday, the cheetah retreats deeper into cover, panting steadily, eyes scanning for any threat. Observational studies in the Mara indicate that even brief encounters with hyenas can have long-term impacts on cheetah behavior. Repeated harassment encourages cheetahs to hunt in marginal areas or at suboptimal times, balancing energy gain against risk. For solitary individuals, this constant negotiation with both environment and competitors dictates movement patterns, hunting schedules, and even social interactions with other cheetahs. Cubs may be moved repeatedly to reduce scent accumulation, further increasing maternal energy expenditure and reducing time available for feeding. Hyenas, meanwhile, solidify their advantage through social reinforcement. As the clan feeds on the remnants of abandoned prey or scavenged material, subordinate members learn hunting tactics, scent tracking, and cooperative behavior from dominant females. Research shows that such intergenerational transmission of knowledge is critical to the clan's resilience, ensuring that each generation maintains or improves efficiency in securing food. Even without immediate confrontation, the presence of hyena clan imposes a persistent ecological pressure on solitary cheetahs, shaping not only individual behavior, but the broader predator-prey dynamics of the ecosystem. The physical toll on both species is measurable yet distinct. The cheetah experiences muscle fatigue, elevated metabolic stress, and a heightened need for hydration and prey acquisition. Hyenas, while less physically taxed during a single encounter, invest time in coordination, balancing effort across the clan to conserve energy for future hunts. Longitudinal studies show that hyena fitness benefits from collective action, while cheetah survival depends on rapid recovery and careful risk assessment. Ultimately, this interaction reinforces ecological balance. Predators and prey are locked in cycles of action and consequence, each shaping the behavior and evolution of the other. The cheetah's bursts of speed are countered by the hyena's persistence and coordination. Every hunt, every chase, every retreat recalibrates the distribution of energy, risk, and survival, maintaining the dynamic equilibrium of the savanna. The plains remain both unforgiving and generative, a stage on which evolutionary strategy is enacted day after day. Word count, 448. In the heat of the savanna, life unfolds without pause or prejudice. The cheetah, swift and precise, embodies the power of specialization, a fleeting flash of brilliance honed for speed and efficiency. The hyenas, persistent and collaborative, represent endurance, strategy, and the quiet strength of numbers. Neither acts with malice, neither with morality. Both follow the dictates of survival written deep into their anatomy, instincts, and social structures. What we witness in their encounters is not heroism or villainy, but the unvarnished logic of nature. Speed meets patience, solitude meets cooperation, instinct meets experience. Each chase, each retreat, each measured risk is a testament to the adaptive ingenuity shaped over millennia. The plains do not reward effort alone. They reward timing, judgment, and the capacity to endure. In this balance, there is beauty without sentimentality. There is tension without theater. The story of the cheetah and the hyena reminds us that survival is neither fair nor cruel. It is simply the relentless execution of life's rules. In their motion, their decisions, and their persistence, we see the profound, indifferent poetry of the wild. Life as it must be, enduring, fleeting, and perfectly calibrated to the unforgiving rhythm of the natural world. Word count, 331. The full documentary script is now complete, fully cinematic, factual, and structured exactly as outlined.